always pulled through. She's part of the family, a real little fighter right to the end.
You talk about, like at 4 o'clock, she pulled the thing out of her wrist, she ripped the nose thing out.
Oh, really?
I think everything wore off.
Yeah. We were going to take that out today anyway, so that's okay. And do you think she's comfortable now, or do you think she's
mate,
got a bit of
look
pain?
she's settled. Yeah. Mind you, it's like the good old days back in Daddy's swag, you know.
If there's one thing that gives Suey strength, it's the love and trust she's had for Steve ever since she first came into his life as a puppy.
Like, I've got some cake in there, and she really likes this particular cake. She has a bit of cake.
She can have a piece of cake.
And I got fish and chips last night. It was terrible because she had some fish.
That'll be okay. So whatever she wants today.
As every new person came into Steve's life, Suey sussed them out first and then made them hers. Now it's time to pay back some of that never-ending loyalty. Dr. John, Australia Zoo's chief vet, has decided she needs some specialist care. So, as much as she hates it, Suey's off to the hospital for the full battery of tests, x-rays, and detailed medical examinations. Suey's seeing a specialist, and hopefully she can get to the bottom of what's wrong with Steve's best friend.
How old is she? She's 15. Okay. She's had a lot of accidents and incidents in her life, various injuries, but occasionally she yelps when you touch the side of her head. And yesterday, when she greeted me at the car, and I always just kind of scoop up her face and give her a kiss. And as I scooped, she yelped, and then I noticed her nose was bleeding.
It seems like if you poke in there, that's what seems to hurt her.
Always the same good nature, taking everything in her stride.
The best way of imaging her face is to do a CAT scan. So a CAT scan is basically an X-ray, but it's a very advanced X-ray.
She'll need anesthetic, so Dr. John's inserting a catheter ready to administer a hassle-free dose.
You're getting sleepy, aren't you, Sue?
We're giving our little mate every possible chance. We're grasping at any hope to save her life. Nothing is too much trouble for her. Suey's been through all this before, and just like always, she settles down and takes it all very calmly. Even before this latest problem, poor old Suey was down to one lung. She'd come through a bout of cancer and a list of other ailments as long as your arm. She's never had anything as comprehensive as these tests. She knows we won't leave her side for a minute.
Now, Suey's got some options. She might have an infection, she might have a foreign body lodged somewhere in her side of her head, or it might even be a tumor. So let's cross our fingers and hope it's something simple and fixable.
The results of all the tests so far paint a pretty gloomy picture. The diagnosis of her general health is that she's suffering all the advanced signs of old age.
So the urine test has shown us that her kidneys aren't working as well as they should be in a normal animal, and that probably explains why she's drinking more lately.
Well, that's just another bridge we'll have to cross. Once we see how she's doing, then we'll see what we can do about the kidneys. Okay.
The one that's really got us worried is the pain in Suey's head. Nothing so far is telling us what's going on inside. The CAT scan will take three-dimensional pictures of everything, all the cavities, all the tissues, bones, and muscles. The X-ray pictures are taken from every angle as the scanner rotates around Suey's head. It's about 100 times more sensitive than a normal X-ray, and everything is enhanced and analyzed by a computer.
What we're seeing here is this is the right side, which is the normal side, which is air-filled. This is the side where we're seeing the abnormality, and we can see this fluid line here, so it's there up the top, and then we've got this fluid underneath it, which corresponds to about here in the skull, which is what we call the frontal sinuses, and that would certainly fit if that was blood with, what you're seeing with the nosebleed rate.
At least we know the probable location of the cause of Suey's constant pain, which is a lot more than we knew before. It's progress of a kind, but nothing we're finding is giving us much new hope. The next test means going in with an endoscope for a visual look at the problem. The endoscope has a light and a tiny camera on the end of a flexible tube with a cable to show close-up pictures on the monitor. So it looks like the work with the endoscope wasn't conclusive, because up inside the nose there's a mass, and to get to the center of it, you can't really tell exactly where that is because there's just so much fluid and blood and problems going on. So Dr. Vicky's going to go ahead and try to biopsy the very center of the problem, get some tissue samples, do a culture. We'll see if we can figure out if it's an infection, something simple, or if it ends up being something more dramatic like a tumor. This is the test that should lead to a conclusive answer, draining out the contents of Suey's severely blocked sinus cavity. At least she can't feel anything. She's totally out to it under the anesthetic. A biopsy sample of what the specialist has extracted from all that fluid will be put through all the tests for a final diagnosis. Whether the news is good or bad, at least we'll know once and for all what it is that's made our best friend so sick. She's been on the operating table plenty of times before and always has come through with flying colors. But she's an old dog now, with all the problems that come with age.
So this is the area that we're concerned about. The problem is on the other side, which is the left side, where we've lost that nice swirly turbinate structure there, and it's been replaced by more soft tissue. So I guess our main concern is, could this be like a tumour? We do see fungus sometimes in the noses of dogs. I guess that's still a possibility.
So would that have been causing her the pain?
Yeah.
So this condition is uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Suey's got two problems that showed up on the CT scan. One is her nose. That's the main problem. There's some mass in her nose causing irritation. The second problem was her ear. You can see that there's a plug on the left side where there's air on the right side. Upon investigation, fortunately, we found out that was just wax, plain old earwax. So that's not a big problem for Suey. Unfortunately, the mass in Suey's nose is a lot more serious. The tests confirm our greatest fears, cancer. And this time we can't do a thing except make the final chapter of Suey's life as good as we can.
We'll just head in. Watch out for that bucket.
At least she's home, surrounded by family.
It's tough when you get old. Tough on all of it.
See you under that table. It's up to us to spend every moment of Suey's last days right by her side.
At the moment she's under sedation, like she's got pretty potent painkillers, so she's sleeping. You can wake her up.
I won't wake her up.
Oh, she'll be thrilled to see you, mate.
I think she will be happy to see you. She doesn't want to wake up. Looks like her eyes are... Here she comes. Sorry, mate.
I wish she was for a caretaker.
Yeah, well, she's very, very old.
Yeah, I know.
Tell you what, she's had a good life. She's had a beauty. And now we have to be really strong for her. Because this is...
Suey's not going to get better this time. All we can do for our girl is make her comfortable, free from pain, and surround her with as much love as she's given all of us over the years of her entire life. Suey died peacefully in her sleep, with Steve at her side, just the way they were throughout their life.
My little dog went everywhere with me. She loved every minute of it. You're a funny little dog. She was there when Bindi was born. She was baby Bob's first best friend. Whatever was on, Suey was a part of it. No question. Never holding back. She had more than her fair share of injuries and illnesses, but she came through it with courage and good nature. And on camera, crikey, Suey was a star. She even did her own movie.
Well fighting.
Hey, what a good girl. No doubt about it. Easily the best actor here is Suey. I'm not sure who's had more fun, me or Suey. She only has a few best friends in this world. You gotta look after them. This is the final entry in poor little Suey's diary. The best little dog in the world.